What is happening to me?
Did you miss me, Spidey?
So, the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer has officially released. It's the official trailer. Earlier in the year we saw the first, teaser trailer for it or whatever. And based off of that, the movie I feel like is going to be a lot of fun. I feel like it's got a nice balance of sort of mystery, like what's going on with Peter Parker and who is this mysterious figure played by Sadie Sink that seems to be, controlling people's minds and taking over the city and everything else. Plus, we also get the added bonus of getting to see, Peter Parker trying to live his life without anybody knowing who he is. And I guess it's been a few years since No Way Home and everything. So that's basically what I gathered from the trailer. And while there is, a lot to unpack about the trailer and everything, there's really one question that kind of has been lingering in my mind since I saw the first trailer, since this movie was announced and everything else. So let's talk about this Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer and the one thing that's been on my mind about it since it released.
It appears we're faced with a threat we can't control. One we can't even see. You're the only one who's immune to it. You're the only one who can sense it.
So in that trailer, we kind of get a look at what Peter's been up to since the events of No Way Home. He's kind of been sort of creeping on MJ and Ned's Instagram page and that kind of stuff, and trying to see what they've been up to without him in their lives. I'm glad we're at least getting a look into that, and we're getting to see what's transpired since the events of No Way Home and since everyone's memory of Peter Parker was erased. I'm glad Marvel is continuing that. And there's been a lot of speculation and theories out there emerging after this trailer was released and everything about who Sadie Sink's character is going to be. So they have that whole plot point as well. Is she the mutant Jean Grey? Is this Marvel's way of introducing mutants into the MCU through this Spider-Man movie? So all of that, is going on and everything, and there's been a lot of theories and speculation and stuff like that. Things to keep us talking, things for people to really invest in and try to figure out what exactly is going on and what the plot and premise of this movie is going to be and everything else. And among all of that, there's, like I said, been one question that I still need an answer to that I can't really seem to figure out just from seeing these trailers and everything. And that's, what exactly is Frank Castle's role in this movie? Why was Frank Castle the character chosen by Marvel to be a part of this movie? This isn't a theory video or anything. I'm not trying to predict what I think he's doing in this movie. I'm genuinely curious why Marvel even chose Frank Castle to be in this movie in the first place. It just feels so random to me. The reason I'm wondering this is because it's not really clear when exactly this movie takes place in relevance to, the events of Daredevil Born Again Season 1, where we first saw Frank Castle. Since they brought all these characters into the MCU from those Netflix shows, this is the first time we've seen Frank Castle in the MCU, or this version of him, played by Jon Bernthal, in Daredevil Born Again Season 1. And then, of course, earlier this year, actually a couple weeks ago, I think it was at this point, we had the Punisher special presentation, which was all about Frank Castle sort of living in isolation and losing his mind and everything. So when exactly does these events of Brand New Day take place? Now, obviously, that's a question that's probably going to be answered in the movie, or Marvel will probably reveal when exactly on the MCU timeline this takes place. And it doesn't feel like we're getting the same Frank Castle from Daredevil Born Again and from the Punisher special presentation, this almost psychotic sort of killer, and doesn't really look at the repercussions of his actions and that kind of stuff. They have to sort of tone down Frank Castle in this movie because this is supposed to be a PG-13 movie. We even see that in the first trailer they released, or that teaser trailer, where he's about to swear and then Peter shoots him with webbing and stuff so it blocks his mouth. That's how this movie's gonna be. So it almost feels unnecessary to have Frank Castle even be in this movie in the first place. And also, it just doesn't feel like he's that type of character that would just willingly help another character. It even took Karen Page convincing him to help Daredevil in Born Again Season 1 before he would actually like step back into the role of the Punisher and assist him with the issues he was having with Kingpin. So why would he just suddenly kind of be willing to help Spider-Man, or even help Sadie Sink's character, as some people have theorized as well, that maybe that's why he seems like immune to her brainwashing we've seen from the trailers. Like, it doesn't seem to be affecting him and everything, so people think that he's helping her or she's helping him or whatever, they're working together. But it feels like a different Frank Castle compared to the one we've seen before, and that kind of, in a way, is almost ruining the character. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to put him in this movie. He feels out of place compared to the other characters that we've seen so far in the trailers and everything. Like, Bruce Banner makes sense because Peter goes to him for help with the whole situation of his transformation and that kind of stuff, because Bruce knows how to handle that sort of thing, considering he turns into the Hulk all the time. And we see in this trailer that he has a sort of mechanism on his wrist that can stop him from turning into the Hulk. So that at least makes sense for why that character would be in this movie and why Peter would go to him for help. But seeing Frank Castle in these trailers for this movie, it doesn't seem like his role is that important. Like, he could have just been a cameo character. Like, because every time we see him on screen in these trailers, he's just kind of like talking to Peter. At one point, I think Peter brings MJ to him for protection and stuff like that, but it just doesn't really make any sense to me, I guess, that Frank Castle would be in this movie. And also, another issue I have with that is, if he's in this movie, then why can't also, like, Matt Murdock and Daredevil appear in this movie? And, like, the characters from the Daredevil side of the MCU, you know, like, why couldn't they all cross over and this Spider-Man movie sort of be a team-up movie kind of thing? Like, why is it Frank Castle that was selected for this? I feel like this could have been really any character. They could have maybe even introduced a new character to throw in this role instead of Frank Castle. Now, obviously, this will be answered in the movie. You know, they're going to make it make sense, I assume. I know it's a big deal that he's finally in an MCU movie, like Jon Bernthal's version of the character. We've never seen that version of this character in live action in a movie. But I feel like he should have been saved for more of like I said, a Daredevil sort of tie-in movie or something to tie into the events of Born Again. Because that feels like where he belongs, because he's been a part of that journey and the whole Daredevil side of like the Netflix shows and the MCU and everything. He's been a part of that all these years. So kind of throwing him into this Spider-Man movie doesn't really make any sense to me. I don't know, it just seems kind of strange to me that they decided to put Frank in this movie when he doesn't really need to be. Like, I don't think he's going to really kill anybody in the same way that he's killed people in the past, from like the Punisher special presentation and Born Again, and even the original like Netflix Daredevil series where we first saw him pop up, and then the two Punisher seasons as well. Like, he's a ruthless, remorseless killer, and then he's just kind of toned down for this movie. Like, does he really need to be in this movie? Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments. Do you think it's strange that, you know, Frank Castle's even in this Spider-Man movie in the first place? Do you think he seems out of place, like I said, or do you think he'll fit right in and be just fine in the movie, and are you looking forward to seeing him in the movie? Let me know all that down in the comments section. Also, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more, and keep an eye out for all the other Marvel content we'll be uploading on this channel as well, and we have uploaded in the past. I do plan on covering something about Brand New Day, maybe whenever, around the time when it comes out, as well as Avengers Doomsday later on this year. You know, I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm sure all of you are as well, so keep an eye out for anything I might do about that as well. Thank you for watching the video, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.